Good morning, good afternoon, whatever hour you have. Scrooge here. We are going to look at some items for Tuesday, December 12th as we wrap up the assessment piece for critical reading of the Enlightenment thinkers and begin the French Revolution. So, we have the Enlightenment document questions, which I've provided you with little bits of time for. I extended it because of you had today, so I said we'll extend it. Remember that you're answering the questions on the PDF. Some of you have a few more of them. That's the way it goes. But and you know who you are as far as looking for evidence and reasons on Locke and King James. But these ones, looking at like what type of government is King Louis described, and make sure that you're answering them in incomplete sentences as you're looking at these. Make sure you're answering them in complete sentences. So, also, sorry, my mouse was screwing up there for a minute. Voltaire, what type of government does Voltaire what type of government would protect freedom of speech? What type of government? We already talked about Locke and what type of government does Locke describe, under what circumstances do they revolt? Make sure that you answer all these questions. Remember, Locke says, we're here to protect the people. Montesquieu, talking about his spirit of the laws. And again, I don't want to give too much of this away because we've gone through this. You've answered questions about this in the test. Some of you need to make up the test Wednesday tutorial. And he was a French philosopher, Voltaire. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Who did I want to talk about? We were talking about Locke and Montesquieu, talking about separation of powers there. So those are you need to look at these. They're pretty straightforward documents. That's you should have already probably had a good den of these. French Revolution. I explained this on yesterday before the test. You each have a piece of the French Revolution guided reading. So even though it's going to continue on, so some of you that have like 10 through 12, this is later on in the Reign of Terror, after the revolution's already happened, after Louis and Marie Antoinette has been executed, but you can still read about the Reign of Terror and about the Jacobins and about Robespierre. The resource, the MI Open Book resource is here, and right tucked into the notebook. And look down here for the page numbers. Okay, don't look on this. Look down there for the page numbers. Look at where you would typically look, and don't forget too. It lets you zoom in to be able to read more closely, and for people like me with old eyes, I appreciate that. Here's your jigsaws. I happen to be on first hour, but fifth hour and sixth hour, it's the same jigsaws, just different people. Some of you have 5.2 number. Let me just get over here. 5.2, 1.1 to 3, 4 to 5, 6 to 7, 8 to 9, 10 to 12. You just have little bits. And so I expect that to be done on Wednesday in class as a check. Then finally, Scrooge has added something because quite frankly, that shouldn't take you too long. And you should have already had a little start on the Enlightenment questions, and that should now be A24. My fault. And this should be this should be A25 as I'm renumbering the agenda because it's incorrect as I'm noticing it going along, but renumbering it. And then A26, there are several ed puzzles that we're going to look at. The History Channel, I don't use this often, but that does have a very nice, very complete documentary, start to finish, the French Revolution. We're going to look at it. Mostly going to look at it in class, but today you're going to look at through 13 minutes on there. Through 13 minutes. I want this gone. Through 13 minutes on the French Revolution. As we go along here. So the ed puzzle is posted, will be posted, and as soon as I refresh, it will be posted, And I said do the 1311 mark. But well, if you want to continue on from there, that's fine. And again, that should go a little faster because we're not doing it live in class. They're all multiple choice, mostly a review, mostly a setting up for what happened with Louis and Marie. And remember, this is Louis the 16th, the grandson of Louis the 14th, the long serving monarch that we looked at. L'état c'est moi, I am the state, it is me. This is a continuation of that, and why the absolute monarch in France was going to eventually fail, and we'll get into that more extensively in class on Wednesday. But this sort of sets the table for that. So through 1311, the Enlightenment question actually should be probably the 13. I think it's 1313 or 1311. There's a 13 a mark in the um, Ed puzzle, the Enlightenment question. Okay, so sorry about for the misnumbering, but you can tell the Age of Enlightenment document questions, the A25, as we begin the French Revolution notebook, and the Ed puzzle. And then, of course, the notebook for absolutism enlightenment that you should have turned in. All right, I will see you all on Wednesday. Minata.